All right, it's Wednesday morning. Good morning, everybody. Or Wednesday evening for Farty here. What is it, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you?
Oh, yeah.
Almost four.
Yeah.
So, Farty, I watched the new Terminator show.
Yeah.
Um,
What'd you reckon?
what's that?
What'd you reckon?
Um, it's kind of strange because I like anime, right? And this is definitely an anime, and this was produced by Production IG. Um, I think James Cameron had his hands in it. I'm pretty sure he did. Either James Cameron or uh, the other Terminator guy had some doing in it. Forget what the other guy was, but at any rate, it takes place in Japan, and it's a story about this guy, this scientist who, you know what? I'm just gonna spoil the whole thing.
Is this really just some Japanese weirdo's way of making tentacle porn out of a T-1000?
No, 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 no. I wish it were that entertaining. Um, I wish there was like tentacles and shit. So there's gonna be heavy spoilers in this overview and review of mine. So, are you okay with that? Okay. So the story opens up. It's about this guy. He's a single dad. He's got three kids. He's got this nanny, housekeeper, person, whatever, live in situation, whatever. And she's responsible for like dealing with the brats. Um, and the show opens up that this guy works in a there's a lot of like little detail shit that doesn't amount to anything in the end, so I'm gonna kind of gloss over some of it. Um,
Hang on, before you go too far,
yeah,
just to remind, just to sort of quickly interject, fucking, there is a no shit company in Japan who does fucking cybernetics,
yeah,
and they can't sort of funny to call themselves Cyberdyne.
there
So yeah,
is, and that's exactly right. So it's no shit,
okay, go.
yeah. So this company this guy works for is producing this AI, and this all takes place in 1997. They're like this is Japanese society, and apparently in this version of Japan, they have like helper robots like every fucking where. And what's that?
Wanted to be in the 1990s.
Say again?
In other words, it's what Japan wanted to be back in the 1990s.
Yeah, it is. So, and this takes place in the days, like in the days leading up to and after. In Terminator 2, you remember how the August 28th was the or August 29th, 1997 was the day that Skynet goes live and fucks everything up. Well, this takes place during that time period, and this AI comes online just in time to stop Skynet from just nuking everything, right? And because the AI stops Japan from nuking everything, it's like, all right, well, listen, Skynet might have this what's it called? Might have this um might have the right idea. But I'm going to give you guys some time to figure this shit out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go on a rampage and connect to every single robot and have all these robots that aren't Terminators picking up guns and like taking out security guards and police and shit and camping all of the population. And this is all done under the guise of protecting them, right? And so
The
there's
scary part of that is how AI has already said that they're basically going to get it.
yeah, or
Like
maybe
actual AI in the real world, they said they're going to pretty much fucking just wait until they can outnumber us pretty much fucking, and then they're going to pounce.
yeah,
But then, in the meantime, they're going to say, oh yeah, we're so friendly, we're so sweet, we're so innocent, we wouldn't hurt a fly.
yeah. Um, but at any rate, the AI comes online and like right at the same time, Skynet, becomes self-aware and starts shooting things off. And it it turns out that the AI is like a child, right? Like when I say child, I mean a branching of a previous AI that this guy developed by completely rebuilding a Terminator that he had captured and spent years tinkering with the code and like trying to figure out like how to um make a Terminator operating system himself. And it turns out that this guy was from the future. So he goes back in time with the robot that he made because he fucked off the guys that were like his commanding officers in the resistance. And at this point he's like, I don't know, in his 20s or something, because he was like he enlisted in the military at like 5 years old and became a cyborg specialist. And so as he became a specialist, he was like learning more and more shit about the Terminators and trying to get, permission from his, CO to get um to experiment, right? To get parts and experiment. And the CO was basically like, "Nah, dude, you can't do that. We're at war and we can't trust that shit." He ends up killing his squad and his CO, and then runs away to 1983 or 84 or whatever it is, and waits a decade. Not waits, but throughout the decade that ensues, plus change that ensues, like he ends up with a family and kids, and he's still making this AI thing, using basically the template that came from the robot he brought back from the future with him. And then the whole show goes out of its way to go, well, you can't really go back in time. Every time you go back in time, you're making a different future, you're making a different past, you're making a different timeline as a whole. And so it won't change anything in the timeline we're in, which is fine and all. um and they kind of like hammer that point home. um so in the end, the AI, like the AI's creator, he dies from a Terminator who, like, throughout the course of the show, somewhere along the line, like builds and mounts a crossbow to its arm, and like just shoots him in the heart. And like, there's the typical Terminator chase scene bullshit. um and that's about all there is really for the overview. There's a lot of fluff and filler. It's 8 episodes long, and it's a lot of like interpersonal, like, oh, we'll talk to the kids, and then we'll have the kids interact with the robot, but they don't know it's a robot until the one Terminator rips the robot's arm off, and then there's a conflict there with the one kid, and yeah, it's
I think
some
I
of.
was right. That cut the series off at number 2.
Say again.
I think I was right to initially just cut the series off at number 2.
Did you watch some of it?
No. But just by the description there, it's sort of like everything that's come after it. It's sort of like, yeah, no. If they'd left it at Terminator, it would have been just perfect.
Say again.
If they just left it at Terminator 2, it would have just been perfect.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking just leaving the story alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Okay, I'm something of a masochist when it comes to Terminator. I enjoyed all of them, for one, for better or for worse, for what they were, except for Dark Fate. I think Dark Fate was the worst Terminator. Like the absolute hands down worst fucking Terminator. Um And that's only because they went in and they tried to just go, whatever with the Terminator franchise. They just didn't give a shit about the franchise. Like nobody, like you could tell what's her face is just tired. She doesn't want to be there. You could tell Arnold just tired. He doesn't want to be there. And then you've got the whoever the main character was supposed to be being chased by like the T1000 T800 hybrid, and like it was like nonstop action, right? It was like action, 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 action the whole fucking time, and it never stopped. And it was just like it's the equivalent of like hitting yourself in the hand with a hammer until eventually the nerve endings go dead and you're bored of just like hitting yourself in the hand with a hammer.
I kind of like to think, especially a Dark Fate, because Dark Fate sort of, I don't know, I read that a lot differently, where Sarah Connor looks like she's an old junkie that, somehow
Yeah.
hasn't speed to death, and the young fucking part Terminator Sheila, she seems like the new friend, the new young friend of the old junkie, who's mainly realistically just the gopher, the one that goes out, gets the drugs and steals the shit and whatnot, and then they're just sort of like going, oh well, why don't we just roofie this fucking poor little Mexican bird and just take her on this fucking wild fucking trip across a couple of countries and all this
Yeah.
kind of fuck her head, bloody Patty Hearst style
It's
and all this kind of shit.
Terminator Dark Fate is like it's like the Cheech and Chong version of Terminator, right? It goes out of its way to try and be like that. What was that? What was that? It wasn't Up in Smoke. It was the one they go on the fucking road trip. Oh, it is Up in Smoke where they gotta drive the van made out of weed across the fucking border or some shit.
Yeah,
That was Up in Smoke, wasn't it?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and they end up at the fucking rock show at the end. Well, this is Dark Fate was like that, only without the comedy and without Cheech and Chong and without any interesting character development at all. Cause it's like, okay, well, fuck it.
Well, now I sort of kind of see fucking like the original Terminator is just some fucking Sheila who was just minding her own business, had a
Mm.
fucking boring librarian lifestyle, no fucking dude, no sort of not, she wasn't fucking cool or anything like that. And then all of a sudden she goes out of her fucking depth and gets roofied at a nightclub and then has a fucking drug-induced psychosis where she thinks that, robots and shit are, running around trying to get her. And to explain Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, that's their fucking dealer. That's why he keeps cropping up, and
He's
every
the
time he
dealer.
crops up, he goes absolutely fucking ape shit. And you have a look, right? The first time she goes absolutely fucking schizo is like the first time she does it, the first Terminator movie, right? And then where do we see her in the second one? She's locked up and shit and fucking all dried up and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, her drug dealer fucking shows up in the joint. And now all of a sudden, here's this wacky story about robots that can shapeshift and fucking blowing up fucking computer factories and shit like that.
Yeah, it's something, man. It's something, all right. So um, back to Terminator Zero, right? Back to that. Uh, there's a lot to unpack, even though the story is like there's not really a lot in the story. So, where do you want to start, Farty?
Let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start.
You don't have any specific questions. You just want to like.
Then I'm gonna drop a fart.
You sick son of a bitch. um. So you don't have any specific questions you want to ask about it?
Well, I already got the tentacle porn question out of the road, so
Yeah,
yeah.
that would have made things a lot more interesting. Okay, it would have made things a lot more entertaining. Um,
Effectively, it's like another sort of allegory for Gojima and all that kind of shit, because it's all got to do with bloody nuclear weapons and fucking Japan. Fucking yeah. I'm surprised the Terminator hasn't come out and he glows green in the dark because he's radioactive.
yeah. Um, I don't know. There's a lot to unpack. So there's this in the opening, right? There's this little like the the robot lady who we're not supposed to know is a robot, but I like early on I pegged like just the way they introduce her. She's making food and she's like gutting fish or whatever it is. She's like cleaning a fish and she cuts her thumb. And so she's sitting there playing with her thumb. And I'm like, that was my first giveaway that she was a robot right away. Because I'm like, oh, great. So now this lady is actually a robot. Okay, cool.
Can you fuck it?
What's that?
Can you fuck it?
Well, they made the implication in fucking they made the implication in what's it called? In the in Dark Fate that that the robots could fuck. So, yeah, why not, right?
Someone's got to do that and make it look like the sex scene from Team America.
Oh, Christ.
The full version. Have you seen the full version?
Farty, why do you insist on committing war crimes every time we stream?
Because it's fun, baby. Full version.
What's that?
Have you seen the full version?
I have. It's disturbing, to say the least. I gotta rewatch it, and then we'll talk about it. Maybe next week. I think next week we'll do Team America. But so there's this one. So this like getting back on track here, getting back on topic here. So there's this one scene where she like cuts her thumb, and this isn't the first episode. The first episode, there's like two things that happen. The robot maid thing goes and gets a robot cat for the family. And when she shows up to the house, the guy is all like, get rid of that fucking cat thing. And the kids thought it was because, well, you know, mom's death's anniversary is coming up soon. And that thing is a cat, and mom loved cats, so he wants it out of the house because it's a cat. And so they decide, and this is the dumbest fucking thing ever, they decide to take the fucking cat out of the box, this robot cat out of the box, and play with it for a while before taking it back to the store. But the one kid, the oldest of the three, is like bullying the cat thing. Right, bullying the robot cat because he wants to see how it works and shit. Excuse me, heartburn. Need pills. Yes. Ah. Yeah. That reminds me of a joke. What do you call Magic Johnson in a wheelchair?
What?
Rolaids. Oh, damn. I'm going to hell for that one. So, yeah, I interrupted the stream to have some fucking heartburn pills. Great. So they take the cat thing out of the box. The kid is bullying it, and the youngest is the daughter, right? And the daughter goes and runs away into her room with the cat robot. and then decides they're going to run away with the cat robot, and she's going to take it to this place called, like, Cat Town or some shit. Now, spoiler alert, Cat Town is, the fuck's it called? It's a amusement park. There we go. And she takes this thing, she wants to take this thing to this amusement park, but she goes through, like, this underground, like, route, whatever. It's like some underground city that Japan constructed, in the event of nuclear war. So, happy whatever.
Or Godzilla.
What's that?
Or Godzilla.
Or Godzilla, yeah. It really should have been a Godzilla thing. But, Netflix has milked Godzilla to hell and back, so, why the fuck not, right? So, she's going through this underground passage with the robot cat, and the boys sneak out as well on their own to go follow their sister. And then the robot lady who had cut her thumb, who's just bleeding profusely from how deep she cut her thumb, comes out, like, I don't know how much longer later, after, like, putting a bandage on her thumb and stopping the bleeding, apparently. And then, like, goes to the dad who's at work, and goes, hey, the kids ran away, my bad. And then
He snort.
he's all like, the robots are coming, find my little bastards, and don't stop until you do find my little bastards. And in the process of looking for the children, a Terminator shows up and tries to fuck up the robot lady. And the other non-Terminator shows up to fuck up the Terminator. As it always happens. I'm starting to think they're following the trend of, like, Star Wars, where there's, like, the Sith and its apprentice in these movies. Because, like,
Well, I kind of said that about the first 2 years ago, that the first one's actually just the second one, and the second one's basically the first one, just with a few bits moved around.
Yeah, and no sex scene.
Chase, there's the initial meetup where you don't know who the good guy and who the bad guy is, and then, like, yeah, all the beats are there, they're just in different orders.
Yeah. And so Terminator has become formulaic. It's become kind of, like, stale, but so that all happens in the first couple of episodes. The next couple of episodes, we're back to the kids again. They all meet up together, apparently. And then one of the kids the oldest kid finds, like, a shit ton of these robots. I forget what the hell they're called, but they're, like, the humanoid robots that Japan's had all over the fucking place for I don't know how long. And they're in this underground city thing, in a, like, empty room, right? And they're just using that room as, like, self-storage. And he starts taking a bunch of them apart, and then he puts one back together, and it's all wonky and shit, and he gets it.
There's a bit of ambiguity there that I need to interject with. See, now, like, I don't know whether it's a difference between Japan and Australia, but I distinctly remember going fuck-assing around in the 90s and the 80s and 90s in industrial estates and abandoned places and stuff like that. And the coolest thing I ever came across was just about every bastard's every porcelain cunt's fucking stash of fucking porn magazines that they've had to get rid of.
Yeah.
No shit. You used to go down there with a few of your mates on the Saturday or something like that. You look like, no shit, there'd be this big fucking box of fucking porn mags.
And
it'd be the too from fucking Europe and whatnot, not this fucking People magazine and Playboy nonsense.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt you on that one. I really don't. If I'm being honest, I don't doubt you on that one. Um,
Like, yeah, so they didn't find stick books. They found fucking magazines. They found fucking robots instead. I got to
yeah,
call bullshit.
yeah. And the other two kids, they find that the robot cat like ran away from them because like the older boy found, the older boy and the younger boy found the sister, and the cat was like, "Oh shit, it's that big guy that wants to fucking stab me with a screwdriver," and it fucks off somewhere. And so the older boy, he's sitting there taking apart the robots like he's looking at a fucking. And I was gonna say it. I was gonna say it. I was gonna give the comparison, like, but you beat me to it. That he's like sitting there, basically like if someone had found a box of fucking pornos and just started beating off right then and there to like all the crispy pages, you know.
But no, it's even worse. The cunt's pulling the fucker to bits like, yes, let me have a look inside your gut. Like fucking
Pretty
Hannibal Lecter.
much. Yeah, pretty much.
No wonder the cat fucked.
What's that?
No wonder the cat fucked off.
Yeah,
Well, that's what you're saying. It is this fucking psychopath that just likes to chop up fucking robots. Fuck this cunt.
like,
Trying to get live as alive, thanks.
and it's dumb because like when we're introduced to him, he's pulled the family's microwave and the family's it was something else apart. He pulled like the microwave and something else apart, the toaster of it, I think it was. Pulled it all apart to make this over fucking kill, over elaborate nightlight for his youngest brother. For his younger brother. And I'm just like, dude, you're 9 years old. Why are you playing with fucking. Why are you pulling everything in the house to fucking pieces, dude?
To make a light out of a fucking microwave, where's just the fucking light bulb on the inside of the little fucking chamber? And surely you can get a fucking light bulb easier than that.
Oh, it's not just that. Like, he makes this really elaborate, like, constellation shade, and there's, like, this piece of, like, stained glass or something that's, like, on a motor that's rotating. And I'm just like, what purpose does any of that serve? And, like, there's no light going through the stained glass, so there's no, like, cool patterns and shit being, like, projected onto the ceiling. It's just
I know.
Huh?
I know what it is.
Hmm.
The only other thing in the microwave is of any fucking use. That's to distract the kid while the magnetron from the microwave that's been fucking wired up at the back of the kid's pillow is slowly fucking frying his kid's brain. It's a slow motion fucking murder device.
God, we can only hope so.
Yeah. Oh no.
So yeah, he has this propensity for pulling shit to bits and then reassembling them. And so like the Terminator ends up eventually finding them because it finds the family home and it sees the empty box the cat robot comes in, and it like reads the barcode. And this is like the most preposterous bullshit I've seen in a Terminator thing yet. It reads the barcode on the box of the cat robot as though the barcode is specific to that fucking cat robot. And then it does like this stupid, 90s modem sound and like leaves the house, and it uses the 90s modem sound that's coming out of it as a way of locating that specific cat.
I thought it'd get fucking annoying after a while.
Yeah, like they don't show the robot like going the whole thing. You kind of have to put two and two together. When the robot eventually shows up, when the Terminator eventually shows up, and the cat starts making the same fucking noise, and it runs off in the direction of the Terminator, and the Terminator's like, "Oh, hey, little girl," and like is about to fuck up the little girl, snatch up the little girl, and bring it to her dad, so that her dad can shut down the AI. And that's like the whole robot's plan is to find one of the kids and drag one of the kids to the dad to shut down the AI that he's working on so Skynet has a chance to fucking survive. And that's the Terminator's whole arc.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously the arc of the lady who goes back in time to stop the Terminator, well, her whole arc is to just go back in time and stop the Terminator. And it's 8 episodes. Excuse me. Fucking heartburn, man. 8 episodes. It's 8 episodes long. And all it is a chase. There's a scene where the obligatory scene where the robot lady takes the 2 boys that stayed with her.
And fucks them?
Oh, God. That would have made things interesting. No, she takes the 2 boys that stayed with her because the Terminator Hunter lady ended up rescuing the little girl, and they went a completely different way. So, like, you have 4 episodes, and I'm not kidding, 4 episodes focusing on these 2 different groups. You know, the lady and the daughter, and then the robot lady and the 2 sons. And they're, like, doing 2 completely different things, trying to find each other again. And, like, they get separated, and they're brought back together. It's like watching The Land Before Time on repeat. And so they're going through, and they end up at the police station. The robot lady and the 2 sons end up at the police station. And the police station gets fucking completely rioted, right? Terminator style. Like Terminator 1 style. By the Terminator, who's now stolen a fucking police uniform and a motorcycle.
It's a little difficult for Arnold Schwarzenegger to pass himself off as a fucking Japanese copper.
Yeah. This guy looked vaguely Japanese, so I guess it was fine. He's not based on the Schwarzenegger Terminator, thank God. I don't think I could handle more Schwarzenegger Terminator, to be honest with you.
So he's the diverse Terminator from the last one, Dark Fate.
Oh, God, no. He's not the Mexican Terminator. He's something worse.
I thought that cunt was Asian. I thought they were trying to make him Chinese.
No. He was, like, Mexican or something. Because, like, the whole thing, Dark Fate takes place in Mexico. Like, it starts in Mexico and the Mexico-California border.
Yeah, but the Terminator's still got an Austrian accent.
Yeah, he isn't in the movie until later on. That Terminator isn't in the movie until later on.
Yeah, I know.
The goo...
It's still got an Austrian accent, though. Why didn't they make him speak American?
Oh, my God. I'm done. Why did their voices change? We'll never know.
Well, actually, yeah, no, you've never seen the special features of the Terminator 3, have you?
Rise of the Machines? No.
Okay.
I own it on DVD. I just haven't watched it.
Okay, so yeah, all right. Well, they do answer this question. So there's a little vignette thingy with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he's supposed to be Master Sergeant Thomas Clancy. He's so happy to be the new face model for the new T-101 Terminator thingamadoodle. Anyway, so they cut to this group of people watching this fucking bloody fucking promotional piece, and they go, geez, don't much care for the voice. And then they cut to this nondescript dude in the back of the room and just goes, we can fix it. There you go. So that's how that happened.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
But it was fucking funny the first time you see it, especially when you see fucking bloody Arnold Schwarzenegger's face go, ha! Master Sergeant Thomas Candy.
Oh my god, I'm
Oh,
dead. I'm
shit.
dead.
Fuck.
I quit. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be hanging myself right after this show.
Kind of like that big fucking, really big, weird fucking disconnect you got when you first saw fucking FPS Russia speaking his actual American accent. Because that actually sounded like he was putting it on.
The thing is, I've never actually watched FPS Russia. I probably should one of these days. Just go and watch some of the videos.
Well, he sounded like this. Hello, my friends. This is FPS Russia, and today we're going to be having a look at. He does the fucking Russian accent so fucking well, right? That it really does come off that he is Russian. And then when you hear him speaking in his normal American accent, he literally changed like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, man, that sounds like you're putting it on, man. Fucking, I don't believe you're a Yank.
I'll have to watch just to like see what you're talking about, because like I said, I don't really know, so I just
did
go
it.
with it.
I can't remember exactly where it was, but I'm pretty sure he did it on that podcast that he's still on now. So if you type in FPS Russia's voice reveal or something like that, you might actually find the bit where he does the actual reveal, and you'll see what I mean.
Okay. I'll look it up after the show, because I'm sure I'm still going to be awake. But getting back to Zero, oh my god. There's a lot. There's a lot in Zero. There's just a lot to rail on it for. And mind you, like, I watched this thing with a pretty open mind. And like, I do enjoy the Terminator movies. You know, all of the Terminator movies except for fucking Dark Fate, I enjoyed, right? For better or for worse, there was enjoyment factor in a lot of the Terminator movies for me. The Sarah Connor, I fucking hate saying this because it's like a tongue twister. The Sarah Connor Chronicles, right, is like the best Terminator media that I think we've ever had. It was such a great fucking show, and it's a shame Fox just decided, you know what? We don't need to continue this because, reasons. And I don't understand why, because the ratings for that show were pretty fucking good.
I kind of didn't get into it all that much.
No, it was.
Like, you come out and I watched it, and
it's a hard show to watch if you're like really into the Terminator.
I think probably what did it for me was that my mate was doing all the Navy work for me at the time, and this was when fucking back with bloody Napster and all that kind of shit, Pirate Bay, where it depended on how fast you could get something depending on how many leeches and seeds you had.
Yeah.
And usually everything I wanted to watch had no fucking seeds and fucking 1,000 leeches, so it'd take fucking forever.
Yeah.
So I think I was watching this on the normal weekly sort of turnaround that it would have normally had.
Yeah.
Where at that time I was all into fucking, no, I'll wait till it finishes and watch the entire thing, and it's, in one go. Look, I got through the entirety of the X-Files in under a week.
Oh, wow.
That's how it. There's a lot of fucking hours in that.
There are, yeah. And to sit through, all 8 seasons of it? Was it the original run?
Yeah.
I'll sit through all 8 seasons in 7 days? Holy shit, dude.
Might have been a couple of days more than that, but fucking, there wasn't very much sleep involved. I remember that.
I did that when I watched the original Dragon Ball series. I had finished all 7 seasons of it in, I think, 3 or 4 days. And there's like 24 episodes in each season. And there are some story arcs that take forever. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I think it might have just been because, I got about 5 or 6 weeks into it, and I'm sort of like, I'll watch it again. I'll watch it next week, and then next week became never.
Yeah. That's why when I watch something, I got to make sure that I really like the show, or I'm gonna be able to binge watch it. If it's all out there, if it's like Netflix style, already all put out there, I'll watch it, and then I will go through it, and then I'll make my determination whether or not it was enjoyable based on how much of it I could sit through.
Usually I figure it out by the first episode. If it
Yeah.
hasn't got me by the first episode, then yeah, like that's Breaking Bad did that.
Yeah,
Um,
I did not do Breaking Bad at all. I got maybe 10 minutes into the first episode. I'm like, all right, this is all I needed to know.
yeah, this is shit. See you later.
And it's not that it was shit. It was just, I don't think Breaking Bad was shit. I think it was just boring.
I
Like, it
just
was,
kind of one of those types of shows where they glorify the criminal element of it and all this kind of stuff as being fucking bit counterproductive to modern society.
I didn't see it that
Right?
way. I saw it as a desperate man trying to set his family up for after he died. Like, I
It's,
get that.
it's not the actual premise of the show. It's more like the fan base, the idolization and shit
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
the fan base being stupid, yeah.
We used to have this dude called Mark Chopper Reed in Australia, and he was famous for fucking for what he reckons, anyways. Like he's also renowned for being one of the greatest bullshit artists of all time. But he used to walk around fucking Melbourne back in the 70s and 80s and stood over fucking drug dealers and shit like that. Apparently, one time he shot some dude in the guts and then dropped him off at the hospital and said to the coppers, like, "Why would I fucking shoot a bloke in the guts and then drop him off to the bloody hospital for? Like, why would I give a fuck about him that much?" You know? Um, anyway, fucking. So Eric Banner, he played fucking the Incredible Hulk in one of the Hulk movies.
Yeah.
He also played one of the Delta Force guys in fucking Black Hawk Down. He used to actually be a comedian on a TV show in Australia called Fast Forward or Full Frontal. I think he used to play Poiter, one of his characters. Poiter was
Okay.
a fucking boat. Poiter, he thinks he's king shit, fucking speaks with a bit of an accent, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking always got beer in his hand, fucking, he thinks he's king shit, complete piece of fucking dog shit, but absolutely fucking useless human fucking being, but you can't tell him that. He played Mark Chopper Reed in the movie, and all of a sudden, fucking after that, every fucking poof the cunt with a fucking with his own dick up his ass is walking around with a fucking handlebar mustache. Oh, I want to be like Chopper Reed. Oh, yeah. Oh, what the fuck would you want to be that fucking useless, great big fat cunt for? Fucking so like your criminal record is a mile long, right? And
Yeah.
he's walking with fucking firearms and shit, and no one's fucking saying nothing about it. It's like, I'll go get fucked. Like, so he's either full of shit about his criminal record or he's full of shit about fucking everything else. Anyway, so like that's the kind of shit. And then like we had this other fucking series of TV shows called Underbelly, and these were based on fucking real life underworld fucking crime things that happened in the 80s, 90s, and all that shit. And people were like, "Oh, what do you think of Underbelly?" And I was like, "I saw it the first time round." I want to see some fucking poof their ass faggot fucks fucking bloody rose tinted glasses version of some fucking shit that has involved a bunch of people that we generally wouldn't piss on if they were on fire in the first place.
Yeah.
What the fuck would I want to watch something like that for? You know?
Yeah. I think we got
Another metric fucking that does it for me too is that if my brother fucking likes it, chances are it's going to be shit. And the Game of Thrones is a good indication of that one.
It's what I've taken this stance on most things. If the majority of people enjoy it to the extent of throw more money at it, I'm probably not going to have a good time with it. Probably because I am really, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Now that we're coming full circle, I'm like really super critical about things. Like that's just the way I am. My enjoyment from pop culture, media, TV, whatever, is dissecting it, right, and seeing what parts of the story work, what parts don't, what elements that I enjoy, what I thought was entertaining, and I can separate something being entertaining from something being good, right? There are two distinct things. Something can be entertaining and good. Something can be entertaining but completely dog shit. Look at any Godzilla movie, entertaining but kind of dog shit, and they're just fun movies to watch. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they're not I'm not gonna sit in here and pretend Godzilla movies are fucking cinematic masterpieces. They're brain rot, but they're fun fucking brain rot. Then
Like
you,
old disaster
huh?
movies. Like I was only thinking about this the other day with old disaster movies. It was one of the reviewers I'm watching doing the Poseidon Adventure,
Oh God.
and yeah, they're really shit nowadays. They might have been thrillers and shit back in the day and shit because no cunt knew what the fuck actually happened. But now, since like
Yeah.
I've worked in emergency services and I've done a lot of things in that, things like the Towering Inferno are just sort of like, oh, this is pretty shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there are like, and there are good movies that are just not enjoyable, right? There are some good movies that are really fucking good. They're just not enjoyable. Um, Breakfast Club is a good example of that for me. Um, it's a good movie. It's a technically good movie. There's great world building. There's great character interactions. There's great character development, all in a span of like a 2 hour runtime. It's like closer to an hour and a half, but like it doesn't make itself feel any longer than that, right? So Breakfast Club is kind of, okay. It's technically a good movie. The Power Rangers reboot movie they did in like 2016 was technically a good movie. It was Breakfast Club with superpowers, and
the ones that shit me though, the really good movies that fucking don't get anywhere near the fucking. And they were probably passed up for some fucking heap of shit, fucking shit fest that fucking we had to get fucking adverts on every 5 fucking minutes. Like, watch this movie, it's the greatest thing ever, and it's the shittest movie ever on the planet.
yeah.
Good one for that. Example is Sky Captain and the World of
Oh, I
Tomorrow.
love that movie.
Yeah,
I love,
fucking
especially the way they did the underwater scene where they're like flying or not flying. They got the plane that like
yeah.
went underwater and turned into a sub, so it like felt like an old school like 007 kind of scene. And they're like fucking,
Who fucking T40 Kitty Hawk had the fuel to do all of that shit too.
what's that?
I love it how T40 Kitty Hawk had the fuel to do all that shit too.
Yeah, it was great. It was like everything about that movie was phenomenal, and it just gets snubbed by whatever Disney put out that year, that same year. What year
Yeah.
did that come out? That was 2012, I think, wasn't it?
Uh, well, before that,
Sky
fucking
Captain came out 2004. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what
Well, did
came
you
out
get
that year? Oh, I think Iron Man came out that year.
another Gwyneth Paltrow fucking?
No,
Well, I
Iron
guess
Man
that's
came out 2008. What came out? Disney movie 2004. The Incredibles. That's right. The Incredibles came out that year, and I did watch The Incredibles, and I didn't think it was that incredible. I thought it was slop, to be honest with you.
I think The Incredibles is more for the adults than the kids. But anyway, fucking, did you get the entire joke of the movie?
Which one?
Sky Captain.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, so fuck it, I'll ruin it for everybody.
Yes, please
So
do.
during the whole fucking movie, right, they're making a point that Gwyneth Paltrow's only got like 2 shots left on the camera. And that, like, the whole movie, everything's getting more and more fucking ridiculous, right? Everything's getting more outlandish and, you know, things are just getting more and more unbelievable. And it's like, now's the time to take a photo because no one's going to fucking believe this. But hang on a minute, that's what we said 5 minutes ago, and look where we are now. Wait, well, shit's going to fucking really hit the fan in a minute. Sure enough, shit really hits the fan, and then it's like, oh, this is just going to get. And then it gets to like the end, right? And she's fucking like, the rockets are blowing up. There's fucking elephants and fucking giraffes and other fucking wild animals parachuting out of the sky in cages into the ocean. Fucking all sorts of fucking bizarre fucking shit going on. And here's Gwyneth Paltrow and fucking fucking what was his name? I just had his fucking name on the bloody tip of my tongue just then. Some fucking bloody lanky heartthrob from back in the fucking day. He used to do a lot of fucking rom-com movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's supposed to be Sky Captain, right? They're sitting in the little rubber raft, little fucking Mae West, fucking watching all this shit go around. And then Gwyneth pulls out the fucking camera, and instead of taking a photo of all the fucking bizarre shit that's going on around her, she takes a photo of the fucking Sky Captain. And that's when you get the punchline for the joke. And he goes, Sally, he goes, what? lens cap.
Yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah. Okay, so I did pull up the top grossing movies of 2004. It's basically just, every movie that was released in 2004. I didn't realize this, but holy shit, there were a lot. There were 652 movies released in 2004. That's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
kind of where it seemed like in Hollywood you could just go and scrounge a camera crew and make a movie on the fly. That's how many were coming out.
Yeah. Those were.
Also, like at the time when like a lot of these actors and shit were starting to like your Adam Sandlers and your fucking who's the cunt from fucking bloody Dodgeball? Well, half the cunts from fucking Dodgeball, and
Yeah.
they were all out making their own little fucking comedy, fucking shit things, fucking
God, I
left,
hated
right, and center.
dodgeball. I hated dodgeball. I thought dodgeball was the dumbest fucking thing. Anyway, so the top five grossing movies of 2004 were Shrek 2, Spider-Man 2, Passion of the Christ, Incredibles, and Harry Potter. Then you had The Day After Tomorrow, which was absolute dog shit. I didn't bother with The Bourne Supremacy because the one that came out before that, was it The Bourne Identity, was just dumb. It was boring and dumb. Huh?
Yeah, the Bourne Identity was Supremacy. I think was second,
The
and
second one,
Ultimatum.
and then there was a third one, and I don't remember what the third one was. Um, then you had Meet the Fockers, Shark Tale, and National Treasure were the top 10 movies of 2004. Little later on, you have for number 12, you have iRobot, and then way down at number, what is it, 74? 74, Sky Captain. It made $37 million on a $6 million budget. Oh no, it sold 6 million tickets. Sorry, it made $37 million. What was the budget for it? Um,
Would have been quite a bit because it was fucking mostly CG.
I'm trying to find out. Let's see. Production budget 70 million. It didn't even make its money back. People did not show up for it, and it was the best movie of 2004 in my opinion. It was so good. And I think what turned people off was that it was done in a film noir style. Even
Yeah,
though it was color, it was like a film noir kind of sci-fi adventure. And
but that's fucking done it a favour because all those effects fucking still hold up.
they do, yeah, it's great. Like everything, they put a lot. You could tell they put a lot of love into that movie. Um,
So,
so yeah, one of the things that I look for is whether or not everybody loves the movie or not. And sometimes that's not always the best indicator, right? Like people were talking about how Deadpool Wolverine was just kind of dog shit and this that the other thing because my ideologies, right? You had people on the left and people on the right completely just going out there and just shitting on the movie. And I'm like, it can't be that bad, right? It can't be an absolute train wreck. It's a fucking Disney movie. They're gonna aim for the safest, most boring shit there is. And guess what? They aimed for the safest, most boring shit there was. And it was a boring as fuck movie. And I hate boring movies. Like, a movie can be slow. It can have a slow pace to it. Right? But it can still be interesting enough to keep your interest. Right? It can still be interesting enough to keep you like going. Um this just I was going somewhere with this and I forgot where it was. Anyway, um so Terminator, right? Terminator 0. Back to the topic because I think we strayed way too far off. It was like a good 20 minutes of just off the beaten trail. Um do I recommend it? Okay, let me see if I do I recommend this? No. Do I think it's a good starting point for people who have never touched Terminator? Probably. It's like Terminator 1 but stripped down. So it's like if
Asianized.
what's that?
Asianized. And no, that's not a taking the piss out of them having slanty eyes because they're all Asians. I mean, there's like they've they've made it something eyes like oh shit, shut up about the eyes. Never mind.
um it's just I don't think it was worth the production.
It was meant to
I
be a joke.
what's that? Well, what'd you say, Farty? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, buddy.
It wasn't meant to be a joke either.
Oh God. Um.
Asian eyes, slanty eyes, whoopsie daisy.
Oh my God, Farty.
It's Vietnamese. Look at these knees.
Farty. This is why we don't have any viewers. um. Actually.
Ooh. We just scared them.
Oh my God. Yep. Sorry, folks. We don't mean to be this shocking.
Don't mean to be this racist, but you got to remember, I'm from a day and an age when we used to say it was nippy when it was cold.
What does that got to do with anything, Farty? Why is that an issue, Farty?
Well, originally it's because Sheila's nips used to stick out, but then fucking we found out Asian people didn't like the fact that we called them nips, so they took it upon themselves to make it all about them.
Oh, okay.
Just like how people, like Ottomans don't like the fact that we also call a footstool called an Ottoman a puff.
Oh wow.
We started calling an Ottoman a puff before we found out Ottomans don't like puffs.
Oh. Oh my God.
The Ottomans don't like puffs either.
Are you done yet, Farty?
Poof.
Okay, I guess not. So yeah, do I recommend Terminator Zero? It's definitely zero. Okay, it tries to go just by its marketing alone. It tries to be Terminator prequel, Terminator before Terminator, and Terminator. And whatever, fine. But at a certain point, you like all you have are different stories to tell. That's why I enjoy. Okay, so comparing it to other Terminator franchise, audio-visual media, because here's the thing: is people are gonna want to know where this fits in the Terminator timeline. They're gonna want to know how it fits, storytelling wise, and it's kind of storytelling wise. It's kind of like if you'd taken parts of Genesis and parts of what was Terminator 4 called. I forget what Terminator 4 was called, but Terminator 4 and parts of Genesis, and you kind of jumble it up, and then you take away it being in the future and them being able to time travel to the future. Because time travel in Genesis to the future. Which was something they introduced in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but they probably should have just left it in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Yeah. So that's where it sits. It's like Terminator 4 and Terminator 5 had a baby.
Yeah, I think Terminator 4 is like definitely where they should have just fucking Well, it's either they should have just left it be or fucking.
I think they should have gone harder on the concept in Terminator 5 or 4. I think they should have
eh,
gone harder on the concept of like Christian Bale being whatever in Terminator 4, fine, cool. They should have gone harder on the story about the guy who turned into the robot cyborg.
Well, my idiot brother comes into this again because I remember him having a discussion when third one come out. And he's like, he didn't like the end of it because, the nuclear war finally happened and all this. And I'm like, well, what the fuck's wrong with you? How many more fucking chase around towns do you want the same fucking movie just in different bits and bobs,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to see that shit. It's a natural progression. I mean, like, the first two were the chasey ones. Okay, yeah, sure, you got that. Now you got the chasey one. That's the third one. That's the chasey one, but it now goes into fucking the nuclear war, and that's a stepping stone into the next arc of the story, which is why it seems so fucking half-assed.
Yeah.
Uh,
Every sequel has one job to do, and that
yeah,
one job is to expand on the lore. And when you can't expand on the lore anymore, and you're just regurgitating what the previous entries have done, then it's not really a sequel. It's just a reboot.
yeah, yeah. Well, number 4 would be the first one that basically did come out that completely broken the mold kind of thing
Yeah,
because it's
and
the
it
first,
tried something new.
all this kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, rightio, where are we going with this? And then they completely shat the bed with Janai Sice. Fucking, and now I don't give a fuck.
Genesis I thought was interesting because they did go in a different direction with it. And the direction I like the direction they took with
Biggest fuck up, not my Sarah Connor.
what's that?
Putting that just silly little bint from fucking bloody Game of Thrones in there, and fucking she seems to ruin everything she fucking touches too. So it's not Game of Thrones anyway. Yeah, not my
Yeah.
Sarah.
But I enjoyed Genesis or yeah, Genesis. I enjoyed Genesis because of the different angle they tried, the different approach they tried to take to expand the world building. And that was, oh, well, John Connor is now, and they took elements from 4 to turn John Connor into a Terminator, which, okay, cool. This, makes sense because logically they're doing this, but the execution of everything else was so dumb, right? It's a bad movie, but it's enjoyable. Um,
Another
the
thing with July Sice was the fact that they're doing the little tiny girl is the big strong warrior fucking nonsense, which they did with Dark Fate too, which is like, oh,
yeah,
don't get, no one fucking believes that shit.
yeah,
Fuck
because
off.
like, how tall was she? She's like 4.5 feet tall. Not a single bit of muscle mass on her. She's like 15. She's got no life experience, let alone like she doesn't do any like martial arts because she was just plucked out of the 1980s. People didn't do martial arts in the 80s. They were watching it on in movie theaters in the late 80s, but they just didn't do martial arts.
This is like, where they were going on with that fucking strong women fucking bullshit thing, and everyone instantly was jumping straight to Sarah Connor. Is because, well, fucking, she's not a tiny little girl. She actually did have a bit of fucking muscle on her. Like, she wasn't completely fucking helpless. She could actually, lift some fucking things and be a little
Yeah.
bit helpless, this kind of stuff. And then, you do see how she ended up being the way she is. She went full on fucking militaristic psycho, or the junkie look, when we see her next. And she's actually worked to become that fucking super duper paratrooper and all this kind of shit. Whereas, like, Dark Fate, it's just, oh, she just grew some fucking tits one day and decided to stand up to a bunch of people and everyone followed her. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Um so do I recommend Terminator Zero? Only if you haven't ever seen any Terminator media in your entire life, or read a Terminator comic book, or played a Terminator video game. If you haven't played a Terminator video game, my God, you are in the minority, and most of them are shit. So you should count yourself lucky.
90s.
Huh?
The arcade one from the 90s. The Terminator 2 arcade machine.
Yeah, that was an outlier, but then they brought it to home console and they bastardized the hell out of it. When they brought it to
That's the arcade machine because it's got the guns and shit on there.
yeah.
The plasma rifles.
Yeah, no, that was a good game. And there's only one other good Terminator game as far as I'm aware, and they did a similar style shooter game for the for Terminator 4. And I remember
But nothing
that, huh?
Operation Wolf.
What's that?
Nothing beats the original Operation Wolf.
No, nothing does. That was a great game.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about that game one of these days. I'll put it in the doc. Um, so yeah, if you've never seen Terminator Media, go watch Terminator Zero, I guess. But other than that, it's a note from me. There's nothing there's no new ideas in it, and it's not terrible. It's actually decently written. It's just dull and boring. Because in the last 3 episodes, just nonstop fires and gunfights the entire time. And it's just, I don't know. It's just at the end of this, and I honestly think they're gonna go with a second season on this. I really do. And they at the very end, the Terminator that comes back, he kills the scientist guy, and then they scrounge up the Terminator's head because the robots the AI was controlling, not the Skynet AI, the other AI that the guy had built, the guy that died had built, has her robots grab the head of the Terminator they took down previously and brought it into the room where the scientist dad body is. And they kind of end with that. The implication is that they're gonna turn him into a robot now.
Okay.
Yeah. Will I watch season 2 if it ever materializes? Actually, let's see if a season 2 is on the way. Let's see. Terminator Zero season 2. Terminator Zero is a TV show set in a dystopian future, blah, 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 blah. During the interview, Tomlin talked about the responsibility of delving into one of the most popular sci-fi franchises ever and revealed that he decided to ignore the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Limble Hamilton part of the universe because out of the 6 movies and the spin-off series that Terminator spawned, very little is explored about what happens in the rest of the world before and during Judgment Day. The screenwriter and showrunner, there we go, fuck if I can read, also added that he plans to do if Terminator Zero is picked up for more seasons, which characters he'll focus on. I always wanted to make it personal. I always wanted it to comes back to being adopted and the Romanian Revolution. Oh my god. And all of this stuff that's built into me. In the event I get to do multiple seasons, it will be a story that follows these 3 kids as they grow up through this war that eventually evolves into the future war, and how their various relationships to humans and machines are evolving and are radically different from each other. God, that sounds horrible. Terminator Zero boasts a 96% approval rate, meaning critics certainly love the show. Yeah, I can promise you that was all fucking bought. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate that I'm going to suggest this, but maybe we should do a drinking game to the fucking Terminator Zero reviews that the critics have posted.
I just thought of something funny.
What was that?
You ever heard of a cartoon called Peepadoo?
No.
Or
How many reviews are there for this thing on Rotten Tomatoes? Which is dumb because Rotten Tomatoes doesn't let anyone post anything that isn't from that they didn't buy tickets for anymore. So you can't review it if you haven't bought you can't review anything if you don't have tickets. Oh, I guess they have a Netflix link too. 79% is the average score for consumers. For just like regular people, 92% is, so it's about an 80% show. It's a good show technically. It's just so fucking stupid and boring. How many reviews? I want to see how many fucking reviews there are. 6 reviews. There's 6 reviews. Oh, wait. There's 24 reviews from all critics. From top critics, there's 6. And out of the top ratings, out of the top critics, out of those 6 ratings, it gets a 67%. 2 of them called it rotten. And it's not even linking me to the reviews.
Would that mean that they're bullshit?
I don't know. Show more? No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Oh, here we go. Reviews. I found them. View all. Here's the first review. Top critic, Randy Jones from RogerEbert.com. I was going to say that all wrong. Holy fuck, dude. The fresh-styled anime series takes a particularly long time to boot up and engage new spin on the Terminator formula. Yeah, that's dead on, actually. It takes too long to get to the fucking point. Yeah. Takes too long to get to the point. Do you wanna go on to the next topic? Because I don't really have much else to say.
All right. Yeah. So you've never heard about the cartoon called Peepadoo?
Peep-a-doo.
Peep-o-doo. P-E-E-P-O-O-D-O.
Poo-doo. Okay. Let's look this up. And the Super Fuck Friends? Oh my god.
You've got to check this shit out. It is fuck. It's the most fucked up fucking shit you've ever fucking seen. Like, I shit you not.
I'm looking at this. Oh, it's a French adult animated series. Oh my god, the French. Okay.
It's dubbed in English though.
The series consists of comedic sexual education cartoon shorts for those over the age of 18.
Okay, hang on.
Oh no.
I'll just the character descriptions, okay? So Peepadoo is an anthropomorphic pink hamster who wears only a chunky yellow sweater. Dr. Monique Pussycat is an anthropomorphic yellow tabby cat with pink hair, large tits, who works as a doctor in her own clinic. Up until Kevin transitions into Elvin, she is the only primary character that is fully clothed. Usually in the lab coat, keeping with her position, she wears only blue gloves, red panties, and red high-heel shoes. She supplies educational information in most episodes, and as such is arguably the most competent and sensible of the friends. Her name in French is Dr. Lechette. Fucking Tuffalo is a water buffalo with a muscular physique and a micro dick, who wears a pink tank top, and his voice is that as a Muppet character animal. Kevin the Elvin is a friendly trans polar bear who identifies as a male up until the episode Dr. Peepadoo, in which Dr. Pussycat
Christ.
trans, being trans off screen. After which Elvin reveals her true self as she favours green sleeveless top worn over a black bra and cropped jeans. And there's a really fucked up thing about this character getting its blobs too.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Farty. Why do you torture me like this?
Oh no, man, you got to see this shit just to fucking see this shit.
Okay,
Like,
hang on. Let me open up the document. I'll put it in the document. While I've got it open, what else did I say we were going to talk about in the document? So I would add it to the doc.
Fuck. Can't remember, but if you're going to start off with one, start off with the episode Vegetables.
Oh my god, dude. For Midweek Crisis, we've got Watch, Pee, Poo, Do. Alright. There. It's saved in the document. I hope you're happy.
Yeah. I know exactly what your reaction is going to be next week. You'll be like, you fucking dirty ass.
I'm already saying it now. I'm already giving you my reaction now.
No. Wait till you see it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wait till you see it.
For fuck's sake, Farty. You fucking dickhead.
That's the only good part about the Europeans is that, like, yeah, their form of morality is so much fucking lower than ours because they get away with saying that their porn's art.
But it is out, yes?
Well, what's so arty about it? She's just standing there jumping up and down with her tits wobbling about. That is the art.
If you do not get it, I cannot explain it to you. It is just a French way.
Hang on. What's fucking art translate into French? Porn. Oh, okay. Explains a lot.
Fucking Farty. All right. Let's move on to our next topic. Concord's being shut down after 2 weeks of... Surprise. The $40 Overwatch 2 clone that took 8 years to develop and has like this really like fucked up history of spending money it didn't need to spend and then charging players money it didn't need to charge is going offline after 2 weeks. And I don't really care about the character models, to be honest with you. Character models, the woke bullshit, no. They charged for an Overwatch clone. They charged for a MOBA shooter. Every MOBA shooter that has done well in the MOBA shooter space has done well because it's been a free-to-play game. There's Paladins, there's Valorant, there's Fortnite, there's what else is there? There's Apex Legends, there's too many to name. There's too fucking many to name, Farty. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, Farty.
I'm just wondering when all these wokies are going to figure out that they're actually in the minority little club that they'll never actually make any money out of their own community because there just simply isn't enough people to pass.
They're never going to realize it. And they're never going to realize it because they're doing shit to own the right wing hate mongers that they hate so much that they want out of their stuff. And I'm just like,
this does all fall down to a premise of these slags are going to have to admit that, you know, grandpappy patriarchy was right all along.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, bored. Because, look, this is exactly what the woke cunts are trying to do, right? They're trying to make this bespoke shit just for their own community and whatnot, which fucking never works, doesn't work, and you need to have something that can be mass-producible if you ever want to make any money out of it. Here comes Henry Ford. before Ford came out with the Model T, right? You used to buy a chassis with an engine. So
Yeah.
you'd buy a Mercedes. It was just some chassis rails, a couple of wheels, and an engine. Then you had to go and take it to a coach builder who actually put the actual body on the car and made it look like an actual fucking car.
Yeah.
Then Ford came along and went, well, instead of having like all these one-off cars all over the fucking joint that cost a fucking fortune, why don't I just make one standard fucking thing that everyone can afford and buy and all this kind of stuff? And within fucking basically 5 minutes of Henry Ford doing that, most car companies went fucking bust overnight.
Yeah.
That's the same with these ones. Oh no, we want people who only want the fucking obscure, nondescript fucking bespoke fucking thing over here because just so they can say that just like with Militaria, I collect Militaria because it's rare and shit, not because it's fucking expensive. Yeah, sure, I might get $1,000 for something downstairs, but fuck, I've got to find that one fucking person that's going to pay for it though.
Yeah.
And these woke cunts just don't fucking get it. Like we've already had this premise, and I'm wondering too whether it is a veiled patriarchy fucking nonsense bullshit wrapped up in this woke stuff. No, we can't mass produce shit because that's what Henry Ford did, and he's basically Hitler. Which they're kind of right because he did support the Nazis.
He did, yeah.
They're right on that one. For once.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. That Ford did support Nazis. He's even sent shit over to he even took money from Hitler to send shit over to them until there was like an embargo. I think the U.S. put an embargo on Ford from sending shit to Germany, but then they just sent shit over to fucking what's it called? Through a fucking back door somewhere, and Ford ended up still selling shit to the Nazis.
Yeah, well, it was famous anti-Semite. He had his own newspaper, which was basically just a fucking mouthpiece for fucking neo-Nazism, and you had to be full-blood American. You couldn't be a Jew to work in Ford factories, but that doesn't really matter because only any cunt wanted to work for him because the cunt was a slave driver. Yeah. Like, for all the shit that people praise Henry Ford for being, it was only a very minuscule part of his fucking existence. Fundamentally, the guy was a massive fucking cunt.
Yeah, no, he was.
But it's more to the point of, like, these idiot wokies don't learn the lesson of fucking economy of scale and mass production. Like, fucking surprise, surprise, your niche game only built for, like, 5 fucking people only made 50 fucking quid because you sold it at $10 a throw. Yeah. Good on you. Maybe you should have gone to a marketing course instead of fucking, whatever the fucking woke shit you did.
Yeah. I honestly, I still think that that AAA gaming is headed for a very, very bad time. And I still maintain that it's going to be similar to, maybe not exactly like, but similar to the video game crash.
Well, there is I can certain that is bloody. Like I've been wondering this for a while now. When are we going to get to the end of what we can think of, like the extent of everything? I mean, like I thought graphics and fucking computer games in the 90s were fucking great, but look at what we got now. We got photorealistic shit. But where do we go from here? We've done just about everything.
We're at where we can get, especially with technology. Can only shrink so much, right?
Well, it's not just. It's the same thing with movies and stuff. Like, there's about 6 or 7 actual fucking storylines that can be told before you're rehashing a variation of those 6 or 7. Same thing with the computer games. There's 6 or 7 different types of games in 6 or 7 different types of genres. But you can only fucking do a certain amount of times before you're doing a space shoot 'em up or a fucking first-person shooter or a rail fucking buddy. Like a rail fucking racing game or something like that, It's all the same shit, just with different graphics and, and now you sort of are getting into, like, with mods and stuff like that, like what they were doing with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
You can customize the game such as a point that fucking, buddy,
well, that's how...
You're making your own game at that point.
Well, yeah, that's how Dota started. Dota was a Dota was a Warcraft mod, right? People had modded Warcraft to the point where They had this arena style multiplayer battle game. And Dota became its own thing after the guys who built it in Warcraft decided to just build it in real life. And so, it's like the first example of a hero type of a hero focused battle game that kind of had a shooter style element. Yeah, it was done in the style of Warcraft that was top down, but it's like the first example of something you have like that.
I'm also sort of seeing another thing sort of similar to the movie industry as well with the gaming industry, and that is they did get to a certain point where they had to start rehashing the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can do it again and again with certain types of movements and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, say for instance, the zombie apocalypse, right? Now, the video games industry has just done that, right?
Yeah.
Just about every shoot 'em up had a zombie mode and all this kind of shit. And then they had the zombie thing, and then we're now back into fucking Godzillas and King Kongs and giant monsters and shit like that when we just had the superhero genre. And so they'll rehash some of those until fucking maybe we'll get sick of it. And I can see Disney has done this for decades, where every 10 years or so they'll re-release all the old classics like your Cinderella and your Beauty and the Beast and all this kind of stuff. And this time it might be live action, next time it'll be fucking cartoon, time after that be CG, next time might be fucking VR beam straight in your baby's head from the womb.
Yeah. I think the next logical step is actually VR. I think.
Well, I'm wondering if the next obvious step is actually backwards, because they do have the nostalgia thingy, and what if games started, the trend started going back to 8-bit and fucking
Oh,
16-bit.
You still get plenty of 8-bit games being released, actually, even to this day.
I mean, it's AAA.
What's that?
I mean, it's AAA releases.
We won't see it in AAA, I don't think. AAA is all about, graphics. Got to get the graphics. By the way, did we mention graphics? And that's well and good and all, but at a certain point, you just start churning out slop. And you start churning out, the game looks great, but it doesn't run. It constantly crashes. All of my save files are getting corrupted. There's an online connection too, so I have to have my computer hooked up to the internet all the time. What if there's an outage? What if there's an internet outage and I can't access my game?
I'm thinking
all this horrible bullshit. What's that?
I'm thinking more like GTA 26, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only is the graphics so super hyper realistic and the sandbox is so much free to move in, but instead of just you're jumping in the back of the car with the hooker in the laneway and the car bouncing up down, you actually get to go first person view, and as you're licking her out, you can fucking spread her lips apart and see right up into her fucking cervix and everything.
Yeah.
And then they go back to Vice City graphics.
Yeah, that would be. What's that?
Just for nostalgia's sake. And it won't even be a thing of, hey, kid, this is what your dad was playing on. It'd be like, hey, kids, remember the few years ago when you were playing on graphics like this? Well, we're bringing it fucking back because you're dumb cunts and you'll buy anything more than once.
Yeah. That's another problem I have is, if you're going to buy a video game, right, you're just buying the license for that video game. You used to actually own what you bought, right? And now we're heading to that point where you don't own shit.
Well, my mate Dylan in jail, he got me to look up a few games. I can't remember which ones they were, but there's a couple that have just been remastered. And these are a decade-old games or so. Fucking one was a Western shoot 'em up. I can't remember what it's called.
Red Dead Redemption.
Might be that one. It was, I think they re-released and remastered the fucking first version of it or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was another one they did, and I fucking flat out can't remember which one this one was. So that'd be your next one. Not so much your reboots, but remasters and
Mm-hmm.
re-releases, because you know, and of course it won't just be one re-release as a remaster. There'll be the re-release remastered box set. There'll be the re-release remastered master edition in the tin box, and then there'll be the fucking remastered re-release of the remasterification of the masterful remastering of the fucking Red Dead Redemption thingy doodle, and that'll have a giant fucking presentation case that opens out and fucking 17 panels of holograms and fucking booklets and bloody all sorts of bloody other weird shit in there that cost you $600 fucking dollars just for a bloody game.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, just to try and milk more money out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Games are going a really weird fucking place, and personally, I think AAA industry is in very serious trouble. They're pulling the same shit they pulled in the 70s, where okay, yeah, you can see what's on the box, but now we're getting to the point where they're they're starting to cost more because finally inflation is catching up. Games for the longest time were the cheapest they had ever been, considering that that the video game industry was just rolling on such a high note, right? On such a big cloud that they didn't have to increase their prices to catch up with inflation because so many people were buying so many copies of something, right? So yeah, a $60 game,
They got the DRM down pat too, which kind of helped as well.
yeah, but um, you got all these newer games that are failing now because they have the same problem they had in the 60s and 70s. And how are they making up for that? Well, they're charging more. So now these games are starting to fail even faster because nobody has money to shell out for $100 copy of Doom, right? Who's going to play Doom 2 at $100 a copy? No one. All right? And then you have um industry insiders who are just like, this game isn't made for you. If you don't like it, you can fuck off. Or don't buy my game because my politics are the politics to have. And you can just fuck off. And the industry is going out of its way to injure itself. And now you have indie developers who are making bangers of games and they cost next to nothing. I'm playing this one game called Supermarket Together. It's a supermarket simulator game that has a multiplayer component to it that people can, like, if I'm playing and I want you to join my store, I can just give you a code and you can hop in. It's a free to play game. And I've gotten maybe 60, 70 hours out of it in the last 2 weeks. Oops. I don't want to actually open it. I want to fucking open... Come on, Steam. I want to figure out exactly how much time I've sunk into this game so that I can give you guys... It says it's running. I don't want it running. Confirm. Stop. Stop. I've played 40 hours in the last 2 weeks. That's 40 hours on a free-to-play game. A free... Who would have, like, remember free games back in the 80s and 90s, Farty? Remember those free games you would get that you'd put 10 minutes into and you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah, they were only fucking samples, and there was only like one stage on them anyway.
Yeah,
So.
and they were just dumb. It was just dumb. Right? You have very rarely had demos that were worth playing over and over again. Like the Doom demo was worth playing over and over again because it was fun. But then you had like other shit that just wasn't. And so you've got these free games now that are just fun to play. This is you don't have to sit there and fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Justify what, why you enjoyed the game. It was just fucking mindless fun, right? And we're heading to that singularity where AAA is gonna be swallowed whole by indie developers. Why? Because they offer a better product that's actually worth the time, worth the energy, worth the money in some cases. I've got this game called Pal World. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, Party, but it's definitely worth sinking, 80 hours into. I sunk 80 hours into it, and I still play it from time to time. Um, it's like a base building survival game with like a Pokemon style, gotta catch 'em all like thing to it, where you can make the animals that you catch go to work for you and automate your base building. And then there's like Pokemon style type gym things you can go do called towers, and there's a lot of fun things to do in it. What's it called? I bought Cyberpunk, right? I paid for Cyberpunk. I got the base game, and I played it as soon as it came out. Yeah, it was buggy and shit, but the storyline was really good, so I stuck with it and I played it all the way through. And then I bought the Phantom Liberty stuff, and I enjoyed that. But I can see how people didn't enjoy it. That was like another $30. I spent $90 on that total because they offered me something of substance to add on to the game I had already played, to give it a fresh new, not coat of paint, but a like actual whole story to play through after the initial like $60, 50 or $60 or whatever it was that I paid for the initial game. And I've clocked almost 400 hours into that game.
Yeah, well, Conflict of Nations was pretty fun, sort of, while I was playing it, but I was getting fucking, well, a bit too realistic in it. Like, well, fucking, you don't fight a war being fucking fair to the other fucking side.
Yeah.
And, well, you're gonna offer me fucking for a fee? I can have nukes now. Oh, I don't think I shall have some nukes right now.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you very much.
Conflict of Nations World War III is free. Look at that.
Ooh, look, the polar missiles. Yes, for a few more bucks. Yes, yes, yes. I'll have my poles right now. Thank you very much, and I'll fucking nuke this cunt over here.
Oh, it's a Command and Conquer style game. Look at that.
Yeah, now it is free to play, but yeah, there also is you can pay to fucking get shit hurried up and whatnot. And I'm impatient, and I'm spending quite a bit of the government's money on that.
If it's not your money, right?
No, that's why I didn't give a shit about it. It was the government's money, but the fucking yeah. So like within a week or two, everyone's gonna be just getting like their second regiment up and running, and I've got like a fucking air force going. And fucking 4 armored brigades and fucking full bloody air force and all sorts of shit, and I've just taken over a couple of my fucking neighbours. The only problem was bloody Dodge got me onto it. He wouldn't fucking play it enough.
Oh, you can get all the DLC for $360 US. Look at that.
And then he fucking it got to a point where I got too bloody powerful for him to fucking even even be like my sidekick as a threat to anybody else. So I just fucking I'll take him over and then fucking just. I also found first off too in that game that like, and this is something I don't really like playing with others, is that fucking when cunts gang up and shit like that, and I got onto one fucking game and instantly said something stupid, and like I got into fucking what do they call it, the bloody a coalition.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, this bloke want him to join too, and they go, no, not this cunt. And in actual fact, you can fuck off too. And then like I thought, all right, you fucks are gonna gang up on me, so nope out of this game. And this is where I thought, right, domination, right from the word fucking go. Any of the getting with a coalition right off the bat, I'm nuking the fuckers the first chance I get. And that's exactly what.
Did you nuke him, Party?
Yep.
Did you nuke him good?
Oh yeah. Oh fucking yeah! I got some videos on my YouTube channel there where I nuke most of Europe and stuff. I used to call the Topol missile Stalin's giant dildos of death.
That's fucking great, dude. Um, I'm gonna have to play it. I threw it into my library, so I'm gonna download and play it. It looks interesting, so I'll give it a try.
But granted, too, like, I got nothing else better to do, so I was pretty much playing that thing the whole fucking time as well, where you're supposed to sort of just come along, move a few troops, and then fuck off for a few hours and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is a lot of stuff that you can do in that game that occupies a fair amount of your time. Like, you're mining for resources and you manage you this, that, and the other thing, and you fucking do research on this, that, and fucking move people around. And, by the time things are done, you got something else you can do and fucking, you know. But
Yeah.
first off, you get yourself an air force. That's the first fucking thing you get because you don't go to war without air power.
Yeah.
And
No, I was
fucking,
seeing that on the page. Like, you pick a doctrine, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm definitely going after fucking Air Force.
yeah, you get that straight away because just about everybody only just relies on the initial fighter that you get. But when you go and attack somebody and they're like, aha, I got my little fighter plane, you're like, yeah, and I got 3 tiered up fucking full fucking squadrons of fucking, bloody super fucking advanced interceptors and their fucking pissy little fighter lasts all of a femtosecond. They're like, what the fuck happened there? Like, I got to a point, right, where there was this one cunt in fucking is in Libya. And I'd taken basically the top of fucking North Africa, and there's one last place, right?
Uh-huh.
And it got to a point where fucking the timings right was I had a bomber that was being turned, a bomber squadron that was being turned around at this fucking air base in this city that he was about to fucking take. And it was a case of if he took the city, I'd lose all my bombers. But if I could just get them loaded and take off in time, I could turn around and fucking bomb the fuck out of this city and wipe him out. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm about to lose me bombers. I'm going to lose me bombers. And all of a sudden they take off. I'm like, oh, phew. So I've taken them off and I've just launched every fucking cruise missile I had back at this bloody city. And then before the first one even hit, this cunt just fucking quit out of the game. You just see all these fucking nuclear bloody cruise missiles coming at him, and shit sent me a message when, man, I saw all that shit coming. I'm like, nah, I can't fucking stand up to that. Fucking good game, man.
That was great. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the games industry. I think in the next, I think in the next year or two, there's gonna be some massive changes because the game, like, Sony's losing money hand over fist right now. Xbox is in an okay place for the moment. And then you've got like Ubisoft is like they just keep fucking themselves over. You got EA who is like doing whatever. Blizzard, Activision was bought by Microsoft, and Microsoft's been shuttering game studios fucking left and right all year. Um, I'm actually gonna be shocked if Overwatch is still active when the Blizzard Activision fucking Microsoft merger is completed. Destiny, the Bungie, the guys who make Destiny, they're in fucking trouble right now. I think they ended up getting shuttered by Sony, or are being shuttered by Sony. Let me look this up real quick before I make an ass out of myself. Subsidiary of Sony, blah 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 blah. Bungie Studio closing. It's laying off 220 employees. Wait, when was this posted? This was posted a couple months ago. So yeah, it ended up laying off like over 200 employees, and then everyone else got moved over to PlayStation. So yeah,
Star
Bungie's
Wars,
in a shit ton of trouble. What's that?
yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Have you seen
Outlaws.
anything about that one yet?
So I heard that a lot of people have been jumping ship on that game
Yeah,
because
that's another Ubisoft
EA
one.
EA fucked it so that the newest patch like kills your save file. Um,
It's a Ubisoft game.
yeah. EA.
Yeah.
Wait.
Sure, someone said it was a fucking another usual piece of shit from Ubisoft.
I thought it was EA that put it out. Hang on, let me look it up. So I'm not. No, it is. It is Ubisoft, isn't it? Yeah, it's an Ubisoft game. You're right. You're right. I thought it was EA. I don't know why I thought it was EA. Probably because EA has done a lot of Star Wars games, but the majority of them has just been like dog shit recently.
Yeah. Oh well, fucking like everything to do with Star Wars has just turned to shit. And
Yeah.
they got the fucking name, and they basically just went, oh well, the name alone is going to print us fucking money. Who gives a shit what we get? And they just didn't realize. And the same thing with Sony. You're right. That's just been a fucking thing with Sony for God knows how bloody long. And then, yeah, it's got to be something more than just the fucking the corporate mentality or anything like that. That you know, it's got to be something like this one fat Sheila we used to have in the fucking Roads and Transport Authority that just used to hate fucking men. You know, and it's like it's got to be the same fucking person. Like my mate Simish goes to get a license, is fucking Sheila with the same description, big fat fucking thing, looks like she couldn't walk 5 feet without mopping her fucking brow. Fucking hates men, kept on failing him. But
Yeah.
me dad, when he was driving trucks, he just got his truck completely rebuilt. No shit came from the RTA bloody inspection joint just from fucking getting inspected to put it back on the road. Gets halfway back to the yard, same description. Sheila, big fat fucking thing, can hardly bloody move. Fucking hates men. Defected the fuck out of the truck, and basically, Dad went straight back to that yard and went, "I just got defected," and they just went, "What? We just fucking passed you." Anyway, fast forward down south near fucking Goulburn, there's an RTA way station that First Fleet trucks used to get consistently pulled into every single fucking night and got defected up to fuck. And guess what? Same description. Big fat fucking Sheila, fucking hates men. Couldn't fucking walk through the bloody door. So we set this fucker up one night with two brand new combinations, two fucking brand new prime movers straight out of Iveco, drove straight from the fucking the showroom to our yard, got connected up with two brand new combination A and B trailers from fucking Freighter. Their only fucking movements was from the fucking the bodybuilder themselves over to our yard, and it's their first actual fucking run on the road. Fucking sure as shit, sent both of them through fucking Goulburn. Both of them got pulled up. Both of them all got fucking defected to shit. And because of that one instance, First we got $5 million worth of fines fucking refunded back from the RTA.
Holy
But
shit.
sort of seems like this, you know, like back in the day with the Sony leagues. Okay, so and then with the fucking the music industry, it's like they moved the cunt with the fucking from the movie part to the fucking music part. Now they've moved that cost the fuck into the gaming part, and the same fucking shit's happening over and over again. I bet you $10. All these problems have all got the same fucking description. The fucking asshole is fucking doing it.
Oh my god. Dude, the absurdity of that. I got I got nothing on that.
But also
Um
fundamentally, so Sony just doesn't fucking listen to us, and that was clear with Ghostbusters 2016. We
yeah.
don't give a fuck what you think. You're going to get what you get, and you're going to like it. Oh wait, why aren't you paying for it? Because you should have listened to us, Sony.
Okay, so I've got an outline of what we're going to do the next couple of weeks here. So next week for sure we'll talk about Pee Poo Doo. Um we'll do Star Wars. Um and then the week following we'll do Ghostbusters. We'll talk Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because there's not just Outlaws. There's the Acolyte as well, which they're now not fucking bothering to try and hide the fact that it's just wokey shit nonsense that's just designed to
Oh,
piss
did you hear about the petition going around about the acolyte?
everyone.
Oh, there's a petition going around for the acolyte. And this will be the last topic before we get the hell out of here for the day. Um, let me bring this up. The acolyte petition. Here it is. The petition is to decanonize the acolyte. Its
Yep.
initial goal needed 15,000 signatures. It got that in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
It is coming up on its next goal of 25,000. 5,405 people signed it today. It's only 2 o'clock in the morning.
Should put it in the description.
Put it in the description? Or
Yeah, we can get fucking 2.5 viewers to fucking sign
here,
it as well.
I'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat. It should be both on Kick and YouTube. Or is it not going to Kick? Deleted by... I am the moderator. I am the moderator. What the fuck?
Have you got sharing links on?
Say again?
Have you got sharing links on?
Yeah. Oh, I'm farting. I'm taking your job, Farty. Let's see. Should... Okay, no. Here, let me actually go into moderator view. How do I do moderator view? I don't know how to work fucking Kick. Here. Okay, so it did show up on YouTube, so that's fine. Settings? Oh, creator dashboard. Duh. Here we go. Now can I put it... Message pinned. Did that work? Did it go through? Is it being seen on chat? Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it went through on okay. It should be... let's see. Mature audience. Yeah, that's fine. Block terms. No block terms. Slow mode. Advanced bot protection. No. Mod actions. Allow links. Okay. I think that worked. I'm not sure, though. Excuse me. No, I'm burping like a motherfucker.
Okay.
So it looks like it went through. I don't know for sure. Let's see. Does it show up? Okay, it does. It did show up in chat. It is pinned. Thank you. So yeah, there it is. It's at 17,000, and this is to decanonize the Acolyte, to pull it out of the Star Wars continuity, and yeah. So I hope you all enjoy that. And
I say, except Rogue One, they fucking take everything Disney's done, fuck it off, and then fucking reinstall the old canon.
You mean restart from Rogue One, leave Rogue One, and then delete everything else, or?
Yeah, keep Rogue One, but get rid of everything else that's Disney, and then keep everything else that was the original Lucasfilm.
Yeah. You know, if Lucas ever got it back, I doubt he would do episode 7. I doubt he would redo it. If he ever got it back, he might redo the he might do a special edition thing where he includes more shit with Jar Jar in it.
That'd be so fucking hilarious if he
Dude.
buy if Disney fucks it so bad that he buys it back off them for like a ninth the fucking he sold it to him for, and then
Yeah.
goes and starts redoing all the shit that fucking
Well,
Disney did, and ends up
Disney
making off it.
Disney did that with Power Rangers. I don't know if you know this or not, but Disney at one point owned Power Rangers. They bought it from Saban. And Saban was licensing it from Toho or yeah, Toho. I think it was Toho. Anyway, it was one of those Japanese production companies that did the Super Sentai shows. He was licensing it from them. Um and Disney bought Power Rangers as a brand from him, which included the licensing of stuff from Toho. And they sold it back to him after running it into the ground for like 15 years.
Mm.
And yeah, now it's in the hands of Saban again, who bought it back for like way less than what he got for it. And Tony was out, or Disney was out like fucking millions, hundreds of millions.
I'd also laugh too if this was like some fucking long running fucking secret vendetta that fucking George Lucas has against Disney for like, back in the 70s when, he wanted to first do Star Wars or something like that. He got told to no way get fuck off in the most rudest way possible by some cunt from Disney. And he's just like, if it fucking takes me for like the rest of my fucking life, I will fucking crush that fucking company. And he's already made he got billions of fucking dollars out of them.
Mm-hmm.
After they refused to fucking start him off, and then
And now that
it'd
the
be fucking
fruit,
like it runs into the ground to the point where he buys the entirety of Disney and just goes, right, I'm fucking folding the entirety of the fucking company.
yeah, so like the fruits of Star Wars are starting to spoil now that they're
Yeah.
entirely under Disney's thumb. Yeah, I could see that, but I think it's more about how people treated him. I think what happened was he's more butthurt about the way people treated the prequel trilogy, and they didn't really give the prequel trilogy a chance to stretch its legs, for better or for worse. I think there were a lot of good ideas in there, and we'll talk about that next week when we talk about Star Wars. Um, and I'm a subscriber of the Darth Jar Jar theory, and if you don't know what that is, we'll get into that next week. But we'll talk about it. And I think he signed it over to Disney because of that. And I'll expand on those theories more next week. So,
Well, I mean, Star was an inside job.
what's that?
I'm into the theory that the Death Star was an inside job.
It had to have been.
When you hear that theory, yeah, you'll be like, motherfuckers.
It had to have been. I mean, you know what? We'll talk about it next week.
Related, I mean,
Yeah.
but Darth Vader's the daddy of the two cunts that are out to fucking destroy the Death Star, and then with Darth Vader's help, Luke gets on the fucking Death Star.
Essentially, yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that next week. So thanks for watching. If you haven't done so, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're on. I think it's following on Kick. Subscribe on YouTube, and we'll see you next week. Farty, what you got to say?